The world remembers the war, but it forgets the obsession, the fixation, the dark psychological pull between two men who hated and needed each other. Hitler, Stalin, two tyrants, two monsters, two mirrors. They were opposites, yet identical. Each convinced he alone could reshape the world. Each convinced the other was the only true threat. And then, the unthinkable. August 1939. A handshake carved from ice and blood. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, a secret agreement that stunned every intelligence service on Earth. A deal between sworn enemies. Behind closed doors, they carved Europe like a corpse. Poland split in half, spheres of influence drawn with surgical cruelty. But beneath the signatures, the forced smiles, lay something darker, a fascination. Hitler studied Stalin like a specimen. Stalin analyzed Hitler like a disease. Two predators circling, two minds locked in a silent, deadly orbit. They were not allies. They were not partners. They were two men staring into the abyss and seeing themselves. Their secret pact wasn't friendship. It was bait. It was a test. It was the opening move in a psychological war. A war fought in letters, spies, and nightmares. A game of chess played with millions of lives.
The pact held, but trust never existed. Hitler sent envoys to Moscow. Stalin welcomed them with vodka smiles and dead eyes. Each meeting was theater, each handshake a blade. Hitler believed Stalin was slow, predictable, a man trapped in bureaucracy. Stalin believed Hitler was reckless, emotional, a gambler blinded by his own myth. Both were wrong, and both were terrified of being wrong. Their rivalry became a chess match played across continents.
By 1941, the tension was unbearable. Hitler paced his bunker like a caged animal. Stalin sat in the Kremlin like a stone idol. Both knew the pact was dying. Both knew war was inevitable. But only one was ready. Hitler's generals warned him. His economists warned him. His allies warned him. Invading the Soviet Union was madness. Hitler didn't care. He wanted Stalin broken, humiliated, erased. He wanted to prove that his ideology, his vision, was stronger than Stalin's iron grip. Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion in human history. But here lies the darkest twist, the psychological dagger. Stalin knew. He had warnings, hundreds of them. Spies in Berlin, British intelligence. Even Hitler's own allies whispered the truth. But Stalin refused to believe it. Why? Because he believed Hitler feared him. Because he believed Hitler wouldn't dare. Because he believed he understood Hitler better than Hitler understood himself. Stalin's obsession blinded him. He thought Hitler was still playing the chess game, still calculating, still hesitating. But Hitler wasn't hesitating. He was preparing to strike. On June 22, 1941, the sky over the Soviet Union exploded. Bombs, fire, steel. Hitler unleashed hell. Stalin froze. For hours he said nothing. He didn't give orders, he didn't speak. He sat in silence. The same silence he once used as a weapon. Now it consumed him. His psychological image of Hitler shattered. His belief in his own infallibility collapsed. He had misread the man he thought he understood. He had underestimated the monster he believed he controlled, and now millions would pay the price. The invasion began as a nightmare. A grand design fueled by the arrogance of one man who believed victory was absolutely guaranteed. Adolf Hitler looked toward the east, convinced the Soviet Union would collapse like a rotten tree under the weight of his war machine. But in the dim light of his command center, the maps began to tell a different story, one of stalling momentum and rising dread. He whispered to the shadows, his voice a frenetic rasp. One kick to the door. Just one kick. Why is the tree still standing? Deep within the Kremlin, Joseph Stalin did not collapse. The initial shock did not break him. Instead, it hardened his very soul. The fear sharpened him into something predatory. He became a statue carved from shadow, waiting for the right moment to strike back. His decree was absolute. Let the fields burn. If they take our soil, they will swallow only ash. We bleed them red. The Russian winter arrived like a second army. Thousands of Soviet reinforcements marched into the blizzard, faces unyielding as the ice itself. Back in the wolf's lair, Hitler's mind began to fracture. The walls seemed to close in as he screamed at the flickering shadows. Generals, traitors, they are all ghosts. He saw Stalin everywhere, hidden behind every map, laughing at his inevitable demise. Meanwhile, Stalin stood over his war table with cold calculation. He no longer saw a war of armies, but a duel of graves. He picked up a photograph of Berlin and slowly crushed it. His expression remained frozen, a predatory gaze fixed on the camera. By April 1945, the dream of empire was a funeral pyre. Berlin lay in ruins under a relentless rain of grey ash. Hitler hid deep underground, a ghost of a man waiting for the end, while Stalin watched from afar, patient and victorious. The war ended, but the psychological scars remained. Stalin emerged triumphant, yet he was fundamentally changed by the years of slaughter. Victory did not bring peace, it fed his delusions, cementing a belief that only absolute control could protect him from the past. In his final years, he walked the halls of power looking over his shoulder, as if Hitler's ghost still lingered in the corners. Their psychological war shaped the modern world more than their armies ever could, leaving a legacy of division and fear. Two men, two obsessions, and a world left scarred. Only one survived, destined to be haunted by the other forever. The Iron Curtain fell, not just across the land, but across the minds of those who lived through their darkness.